You're looking for a dock board that actually lets you keep the line moving, doesn't chew up your budget, and stays out of the way when you're not using it. Not a fancy piece of equipment that looks great on paper, but ends up being a hassle on the floor. That's the exact spot where a lot of buyers get stuck. They see a long list of dimensions and weight capacities, wonder if it'll survive a busy shift, and then worry about spending more than they have to on something that might never get used. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through why the Bluff 20SB606020 steel dock board could be the practical answer you need, and also where it might fall short, so you can decide if it belongs in your dock or if you should keep looking. First off, a dock board is a simple piece of equipment, but its impact on daily operations is huge. In a typical high-traffic warehouse, every time a trailer rolls in, the dock crew has to bridge the gap between the dock level and the trailer floor. If that bridge is flimsy, it can damage pallets, slow down forklift drivers, and even cause safety incidents. The Bluff board is built from all-welded steel and finished with a diamond pattern anti-skid tread. That combination means you get a surface that can take the weight of a fully loaded pallet truck without warping, while the tread gives the forklift tires something to grip, even when the floor gets a little wet from rain or a spill. The real differentiator for this model is the Speedy board cutouts and the twin notched holes at the leading edge. Those notches line up perfectly with the standard forklift tines, letting the driver slide the forks right into the board without having to maneuver around a solid edge. In practice, that saves a few seconds per loading cycle, and over a day that adds up to a noticeable bump in throughput. I've heard from a couple of warehouse managers who said the difference felt like shaving off 5 to 10 minutes on each dock cycle, enough to keep a trailer on schedule without scrambling for overtime. Now, let's talk about who actually benefits from those features. If you run a distribution center that handles multiple trailers a shift, or you have a cross-dock operation where pallets are moving in and out almost continuously, the time savings from those notches become a real productivity boost. The board's 10,000-pound capacity, the rating printed on the product, also means you can trust it with heavy loads. Think bulk goods, large appliances, or pallets stacked to the maximum safe height. The steel construction means it won't crack under repeated stress, so you're looking at years of service before you need to consider a replacement. On the flip side, if your business only gets a handful of deliveries a week, or you mostly handle lighter items that never exceed a few hundred pounds, the hefty steel board might feel like overkill. It weighs a good amount, so moving it into place requires a forklift or a pallet jack, and that extra step can be a nuisance if you only need the board sporadically. Also, the board is a fixed 60 by 60 inch size. That works well for standard dock heights, but if your dock level is significantly higher or lower than the trailer floor, you might need additional ramps or adjustments, which adds to the overall cost and complexity. One hidden trade-off that often catches people off guard is corrosion. Steel is strong, but if you're in a humid environment or you don't keep the board dry when it's not in use, the metal can start to rust at the welds over time. The anti-skid coating helps a bit, but you still need a routine of wiping down the board and possibly applying a rust inhibitor if the dock area gets damp. That's a maintenance step that you won't see on the spec sheet, but it's part of the real-world ownership experience. Another practical consideration is installation. Because it's all welded, you can't just bolt it to the dock and walk away. Most installers recommend welding the board to the dock edge for a permanent, secure fit, which means you'll need a qualified welder or a service that can handle the job. If you're looking for a plug-and-play solution, a lighter aluminum or composite board might be easier to set up, though you'll sacrifice the heavy-duty durability that the Bluff provides. Let's break down a couple of everyday scenarios to see how the board holds up. Imagine a furniture distributor receiving a trailer loaded with fully assembled sofas. The pallets are stacked to the maximum height, each weighing close to the board's capacity. The forklift driver backs the forklift up, aligns the forks with the twin notches, and slides the board into place without having to lift the board manually. The diamond tread gives the wheels enough grip too.